What's up guys, Matt Laidlaw here, coming to you from Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson. So one of our customers was generous enough to let me take out his brand new 2019 CVO Road Glide. He installed a Stage 4 in this bike, so I'm going to be taking it out. Hey guys, I'm always looking for people's bikes to feature on my YouTube channel here, so if you have a really cool customized Harley-Davidson that you'd like to show off, I'd love to see it. I'd love to feature you here on my YouTube channel. I've had a lot of people reach out to me that I've been able to feature their bike, like the video here that I'm doing right now. But there's three niches in particular that I'd love to see. If you have a Vikla motorcycle, Road King Deluxe, whatever it may be, Springer like you see here, I'd love to see it. If you have a purpose belt or club style Dyna or 18, 19 model year Softail, I'd love to see those as well. And I'd also like to see your performance belt baggers as well. So any bike really that you have that's particularly awesome that you want to get highlighted on my channel, I'd love to hear from you. DM me on Instagram or reach out to me via email or our website, and I'd love to highlight your motorcycle here on the YouTube channel. You can bring it by, or if you live close by, I can come out to your place and get your bike filmed and put up on the YouTube channel here. Thanks guys. So I want to show you guys exactly what the Stage 4 kit entails, and I've had videos that have explained this in the past, but if you're new here, new to my channel, let me jump into the details on the Stage 4 kit. So this is Harley-Davidson's Screamin Eagle catalog, and again, this is showing you all the components and everything that's involved and all the details of the Stage 4 kit. This is Harley-Davidson's best of the best, highest performing kit that they offer from a horsepower standpoint. So right here, Harley-Davidson points out that this kit really starts coming alive and coming on at about 4,000 RPM, and you're going to get that increase in power as you go all the way to redline, which is a little over 6,000 RPM. So from 4,000 to 6,000 RPM is kind of where you're going to want to keep the needle to get the max benefit out of this kit here. So I point this out, and I think Harley points this out too, because this is quite a bit different power delivery than just your stock Harley-Davidson. Most people like that real cruiser, easy, low-end power delivery, low-end torque, whereas this bike requires maybe a little bit more downshifting and a little bit more of an aggressive riding style to really keep it where the power is at. So this is definitely for someone that is more of an aggressive rider that really wants that high horsepower, where I feel like is the most beneficial out on the highway. So Harley-Davidson says that you can expect a 40% increase in the higher RPM range. Now we're going to get to the exact power figures in just a minute, but yeah, the horsepower on these bikes is taken from, you're going to get at about a 30 horsepower increase out of this thing. Another thing I like to point out that I'm a big advocate of, and I've mentioned this in videos past, is Harley-Davidson allows you to install these genuine performance kits within 60 days of your vehicle purchase and retain all your factory warranty. So I always highly recommend, if you know you want a performance kit or you want a higher performing Harley-Davidson, stick to the genuine Harley-Davidson stuff and have it installed within 60 days of purchasing your bike. If you do that and something goes wrong with your engine, then guess what? It's totally covered under your warranty. What I see a lot of guys do, and I've seen just a lot of heartache and regret over the years, is guys that take their Harley-Davidson out to maybe their bros or whatever at some independent race shop or performance shop, and they put all this aftermarket cams and tuners in there and everything, and then they start having issues and the independent shop can't figure it out, or maybe they won't pay for it to be fixed. They say, well, it's on you, you broke it. And then they try to go back to the dealer, and the dealer's like, well, we can't fix it with all these performance aftermarket parts in there. And so they're pretty much SOL, and it's just costs them a ton of money. So, and I've had some people argue or try to argue that, well, with aftermarket shops, you can get a little bit more power and squeeze more power out of these things as compared to the Harley-Davidson stuff. And that may be true in some circumstances, but the marginal power increase you're going to get over the Harley-Davidson stuff is not worth compromising and sacrificing your warranty for. There's my spiel on warranty. I always highly recommend sticking to the Screamin Eagle Harley-Davidson stuff. The performance increases are awesome. The gains you're going to get are really good, and it's at a no risk configuration. So let's jump into the parts here for a second. So first off, you get the CNC ported cylinder heads, which is this here. So it's a higher flowing head, and you get the valve springs as well. And then you get the Screamin Eagle 64mm throttle body, and the Screamin Eagle high flow injectors, the bolt-on cylinders. And a question I get asked a lot, guys, is people will say, well, you're not jumping up in displacement, it's still a 117 to a 117. You really got to change the pistons and cylinders? Yes, you do. These are different pistons and cylinders. You've got forged internals on here. These are forged pistons. It's a higher compression piston as well. It's 11-to-1 high compression aluminum coated pistons. And there's a couple other things here, like your Screamin Eagle cam bearing upgrade, the performance tappets, and here's your cam. That's obviously one of the most important things. Your SE8 515 cam. Again, this is something where it likes to be ridden at a higher RPM than what you're used to.
Yeah.
I almost forgot, and since I know you're all going to ask, this bike has a stock header pipe and it has CFR mufflers on here. And the bars are factory 47. I believe they're a 10-inch bar on here. So I know everybody always wants to know kind of what the power figures are, so I'm going to point that out real quick. So this is, again, out of the Screamin Eagle catalog. So you can see the stock here, and this is the CVO Touring Model Stage upgrades. So you're going to get on your horsepower, and this is rear wheel horsepower, you're going to get about 93 horsepower. That's stock. And with the Stage 4 kit, you're going to get about 125 horsepower, and that's achieved at 6,000 RPM. So your max horsepower with the stock cam is achieved at 4,500 RPM, and then with the cam, your max horsepower at about 125 is achieved at 6,000 RPM. So once again, just to kind of reiterate the fact that this is a bike and a engine setup that likes to be wrung out and the throttle twisted. And let's jump over to the torque here. So the stock, which is the white line, the stock torque comes on at about 3,500 RPM, the max, and you're a little over 110. We'll call it 112 foot-pounds of torque. And with the Stage 4 kit, you're going to get at about 5,000 RPM. You're going to get about 115, 116, which isn't a huge increase. But one thing I like to point out is look how nice and flat and linear this is and how long it hangs on. Whereas at about 4,500 RPM on the stock cam, this thing really starts to drop off real quickly. So on the stock cam, And this, I definitely agree with this from just riding these bikes in real world experience on these motorcycles. On a stock Harley, you never really want to go much above 4,500 RPM. Honestly, I shift usually at about 4,000 RPM on a stock stock Harley-Davidson. But then once again, like I said, when you get the Stage 4 kit, you're definitely going to want to stretch that out and shift. I shift right about 5,000, 5,500 RPM or so. So the bike was a lot of fun to ride, no surprise there. I mean, it doesn't get much better than a 2019 CVO Road Glide with a Stage 4 117 kit on it. I mean, this is pretty much everyone's dream bike, the pinnacle of Harley-Davidson ownership right here. So yeah, a ton of fun. I'll go over a couple points that I get asked a lot of questions about. So a lot of people ask me if there's a huge difference between a 114 and a 117 Stage 4, and the answer is no, not really. I mean, the better rider who cracks the throttle quicker is going to win the race. If in a perfect world you both start at the exact same time, yes, the 117 will pull maybe a bike length or two ahead of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I'd recommend this kit to people that are on the freeway a lot. That's when you're going to get the max benefit out of it. You know, these big kits where you have to run at a high RPM, they're not really the best from stoplight to stoplight. I mean, they're fine, but you know, they're a little bit more practical up on the open highway, especially if you're going to do a lot of traveling and stuff. I mean, it's great to have this power when you're going up mountain passes, passing trucks and things like that. It's a good practical use. You know, it's not just, hey, let's hot rod around, although it's really good for that as well. The other thing is you're going to get the best throttle response if you crack the throttle at about 4,000 RPM. There's a couple times where I may have been at 3,500 RPM, and you can tell the engine speed doesn't climb as quickly until it's after 4,000 RPM. If you open it up after 4,000 RPM, the engine speed, the RPM, climbs really quickly. So it's always important to kind of, if you want the max power, make sure you downshift and kind of keep it in the sweet zone there. And there's a couple times you can kind of probably tell if you go back and watch when I cracked the throttle, the engine started climbing kind of at a steady speed, and then all of a sudden you could see just really climbing quickly. The other thing is, you know, I short shifted a lot. You know, if you watch the video, you'll see that I shifted at like 5,000 RPM as well. And so, you know, I'm not really out here racing. I'm not really out here trying to like do everything perfect. I'm just trying to out here ride and enjoy the bike, you know, and give you guys somewhat of a demonstration of what it can do. But, you know, in a perfect world, if you're really trying to, you know, get the best speed and everything, you're going to want to shift at about 6,000 RPM. And then, you know, keep it right there around 5,000 RPM to 6,000 RPM. That's where you're gonna, you know, be doing the most power. So, you know, I didn't really do that perfectly. Again, I'm not trying to, you know, do everything and shift perfectly every time. But yeah, a ton of fun riding the bike. I appreciate the opportunity to ride this CVO Road Glide. It's definitely more than I have the budget for right now. I mean, this is a pricey item here, but it doesn't get much better. And you know, he did it right as well, where, you know, it's all under warranty as well. And yeah, it's a great bike. The other thing that people say, well, what about the CFR mufflers? Well, we can go down the rabbit hole of warranty and everything, but I guess in the event that somehow the CFR mufflers were proven to have been the cause of an engine failure, then technically the bike wouldn't be warranted. But you're very, very safe just changing mufflers to an aftermarket muffler on Harley-Davidsons without really making or taking much risk on as far as avoiding your warranty. It's when you do tuners and cams and things like that are pretty much, you avoid your warranty instantaneously. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're looking for a new bike in California, hit me up for no BS pricing. Hit me up on Instagram or go visit our website at laidlawsharley.com or send me an email. We have some of the best technicians in Southern California. We do a ton of performance work. We just got our dyno back up and running again, which quite frankly isn't a necessity to do these kits because everything is all pretty much stock downloads and everything, canned downloads. But we're going to be doing some dyno videos here in the near future, kind of comparing some of these different builds to one another. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and take care.